Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Hi, Ronald. Thank you for praying. My son made it to Oregon safely, so I'm glad about that. I got a text message from him. He arrived, I guess, early this morning. So I'm relieved that he's there, and uh, yeah, we got a serious topic again. I almost I almost gave up. That my tea is done. I almost I almost didn't do this subject because I was watching videos for part of the afternoon. I went swimming, and then I was watching videos, and I just get really um it's sad, and I was getting so involved in it, and then in the now the workers that were working um, at Ground Zero, it's still going on because they're getting sick, they're having breathing issues, they're getting cancer, and so that's sad. But I still felt like I wanted to do this. They have a memorial every year at the Ground Zero, and I was watching part of that, and they were reading the names, and it was family and of people, and so they would say their tribute to their family member. Let me get my tea. Hot, 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 hot. I have elderberry lemon balm. It's for immune and stress. Let's see, I got a notification. Yeah, I got a notification that I'm live. Cool. Um, this is hot, 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 hot. 2,977 people died on 9/11. And I was a young mom, and I was homeschooling my um, youngest four. So my oldest son, my younger son, my um, middle daughter, and my youngest daughter. And we were on our way to karate because we had homeschool karate on that day. Beautiful, clear day. My ex was out of town for work. He had flown my then husband, my husband of 30 years and 5 kids. So my husband was in Chicago. He had flown on the day before. It was such a scary day, you guys. Such a scary day. So we were going to, I think I heard on the radio, because I listen to Christian radio, I think I heard on the way, I think I remember because I think I was at the light that was by the mall in Warner Robins when the first, because karate was at 9, so think the first plane hit at like 8:45. So I think I was at that light. They said it on the radio. And they were in class. And I always remember this. I was with a friend, Carrie, from church. She ended up, it was interesting because we switched churches. I didn't go to her church at that time. We were just both homeschooling moms and had our kids in homeschool karate, right? But I ended up later on, we switched churches, and I was going to this lady's church. But so while our kids were in karate, and my youngest was a baby, so my youngest was born in 2001. So she's 22 now. And what was interesting about that is that she was due in January. And it was only with my younger son. But with my younger son, I had a feeling he was going to be born on the 14th, which is coming up. His birthday is on the Thursday. And we went out to eat for his birthday before he left for Oregon. But only with him I had a feeling, and I was right. He was born on the 14th. And that was cool. And it was my husband's grandfather's birthday, and he was still living at that time. So he thought that was cool that Ian was born on his birthday. And great grandpa story. So, but with Lydia, she was due at the end of January. I think she was born right around her due date. She was born on the 28th. But I had a feeling about the 11th. Isn't that weird? And I thought it would be cool too, because her birthday would be 1/11/01. 1/11/01. And so I thought, hey, maybe she'll be, maybe I'll be right this time. Because I was only right with Claire. I didn't figure it out either when she was born. They tried to induce her early. I didn't have any feeling, but she was born on July 31st, which is Harry Potter's and J.K. Rowling's birthday. But I couldn't figure out when she was going to come. They tried to induce me early. And Claire was born in 96, and she was not huge like the rest of them. Like Ian, my younger son, and my oldest son was 10 pounds, 9 ounces. He was the biggest one. My oldest daughter was 9 pounds, 12 ounces. And then Lydia was 10 pounds, 1 ounce. And Ian was the same as Ian. Ian was 10 pounds, 1 ounce. He was kind of proud. She weighs the same as you. Because he was like 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98. He was 7. Oh, yeah, he was 8. And so she didn't come on the 11th, but when that happened later in the year, I was like, maybe that was a bad feeling I had about the 11th. So I had some sort of feeling about the 11th. It was weird. We were watching the TV, me and this lady, Carrie, and our kids were in karate class. And I was just watching in horror. And when the first building collapsed, I just started crying. And I said to Carrie, I was like, we need to pray. We need to pray because I don't know if we had heard about the Pentagon or whatever, but we prayed. And later she was like, it was good. I was with a prayer warrior. when that happened, and I was just like, oh, I don't know. I so and I prayed because I was thinking, I was like, there was two, like, what if there's more or something, and we prayed that if there was more going on, that it would be um, that God would hinder it or stop it or whatever. And later on, I read the book. I don't really remember like much of the. I don't really remember much of the book because it was a long time ago that I read it. But the book by Todd Beamer's widow, called what's it called? Let me look it up. It's called Let's Go, or there was a song, there was a whole album and everything. Like, Let's Do This. What is it called? Because he had a saying, and that's what she titled the book. Let's Roll. That's what it's called. Let's Roll. And they are the ones that attacked, went on they got the plane to crash in the field in Pennsylvania instead of crashing and instead of going to the White House. So they are heroes. And so, yeah, I am going to light the candle. Flames. But so anyways, welcome to Red's Flames. There we go. I don't know. What did I do with my flute? I'm going to go get it because I like to play for me. I don't know if you all like me to play or what, but I'm going to get my flute. That makes me feel better. I don't know if it does anything for you guys, but anyways, it makes me feel better. I'm going to try this tea. This is not my favorite one of these, but it's okay. And the tea bags have little sayings on them. It says, know the unknown, hear the unheard, see the unseen. How do you do that? That's kind of, I don't know. I don't know how you do that. I have stuff I'm sending out tomorrow. Linda won this book. I'm probably going to give away a book like every we at least every other week, maybe twice a month, I'll give away a book. And so Linda won this, and I'm sending that out to you, Linda, tomorrow. Okay. Yes. Yes. God bless them. And yeah, it was, I listened to them read a lot of the names. But I'm like, I can't listen to this forever. Because they were like only to the C's. I listened to some B's. I heard them say Todd Beamerstein. And then I watched a National Geographic one that was very good. And it was just about the South Tower. And there was this man, and he was sitting in church telling his story. And they told him to go. So I guess the North Tower was hit first, and they told him to go back to his office. And he went up the elevator and back to his office, and he saw the plane. He literally saw the plane coming, hitting the building. And this man that he's just fast friends with now, this other man, they both got out, saved him. And that man was going to go up the stairs. They're like, we can't go down. We need to go up. And yeah, I'll know what happened. And so because this man heard the other man yelling for help, he went and got him out, and they went down and got out of the building before it collapsed. And they were both, and he said they were both Christians. And he said to the man when he pulled him up, because I guess there was, I don't know, it was just like a mess, like because the plane came into the building. I don't know, but he had to pull him up because he was like down under something. He got under a table. I think that maybe saved him too. He got under a table. You can watch it. I could put the link to it, but it was just a remarkable story. We had at church a man come speak. His name is Sujo John, I think Sujo John, and he got out of the building, and he has an incredible story too. And I heard that story a long while ago too, so I don't remember a lot of it. But you can probably find that online. But the thing that I was listening to today was National Geographic about the South Tower. Just incredible stories. And the guy, the one man said to the other man when he saved him, he was like, "Do you know Jesus?" Right away. He said, "Do you know?" Because that's what he was praying. He was praying under that table. But it's just, and some people ask, where was God when that happened? But God was still there, and I believe, there. I want to read a passage later from Revelation 21. And I'm going to say my storm poem, because that's the one that goes best with this topic, I guess. And I'm gonna read this, but not right now. I'm gonna say my storm poem for you, because Jesus said, in the world will have tribulation, but be of good cheer. I've overcome the world. And I believe, yeah, God is still on the throne. Hi. Hey, you got your name in your title there. Hi. Hi, Teddy. How are you? Yes, God was still on the throne. I believe that. And just like, Mr. Rogers would say, when bad things happen, look at the helpers. Look at the helpers, and all that. And all my brothers were still living then. And I remember talking to my brother Tim, and my brother Tim is the one that died from the heroin addiction, but he was very, very intelligent man. And he was really smart. And he did really well in school. He was put ahead in school. My oldest two brothers were put ahead in school. No, it wasn't wise to get involved in drugs, but he was really, really smart. And I remember talking to him about it, and he said the thing that they said about World War II when the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor. He said they have awoken the sleeping giant, just like they said, And so, yeah, that I remember that was what my brother Tim said. Can't remember what my brother Paul said, but he was very smart too. But yeah, he was going through things before my brother Paul passed in 2002, so a year after, and it was August, so it was like a year after 9/11. So let me say my storm poem, because it's about, the power we have in prayer. It's in this book. This is my first book. For a donation of any amount, the PayPal's below. I can send you this book, but please send a little bit more if you're out of the country, because it's very expensive to send out of the country. So there's my email. So you email me your address, send me a donation of any amount. The storm poem is in this book. And it's called The Storm. And here I go. Don't say that no one cares for you. You say that no one cares for you, but that's not true, because I do, and God does too. Oh, that I could fix your problem. I'd mend you up. You'd no longer be stuck in that addiction or depression, the trials that come in rapid succession. But what can I do? I cannot fix you. I can't make you believe or even relieve that deep ache in your heart. Just where do I start? Don't do nothing, she yelled at me. So what should I do? Scream and shout and run about? Perhaps sit and pout? No, I'll fight a war upon my knees. In quietness and confidence shall be my strength. He keeps my prayers and my tears. Perhaps the overflow makes the rain to water all the pain upon the earth. I'll thank him for this thorn. I'll praise him even when I'm worn, 'cause he carries me through the storm. He walks to me on the tempest sea. The rain brings life back to my dying tree. And one day through the clouds I'll see the rainbow. So I have a sister-in-law who sometimes struggles with depression. And at that time, she was struggling with depression. She was, I think, probably in her 20s. I'm trying to figure that. Let's see. She was maybe in her late 20s, mid 20s. I was 34 when 9/11 happened. Wow, that was a while ago. 22 years ago. Um, I remember because I was 34 when my youngest was born. So, but so this family person, sister-in-law, my brother-in-law's wife, said, because she was going through it, and then 9/11 happened. She was going through, I guess, a major depressive episode, and she said now everybody feels like, and she's from New York too. Now everybody feels like I feel. So it was a sad time. So, but yeah. So my husband was in Chicago. They had almost went to California for something for work. And it, guys, it would have been really far away. So they had to drive back. They had to rent cars and drive back. And it was just a scary time. I always felt comforted, to have my kids with me at home. And it was comforting to me. My oldest was in high school, though, and they took them aside and told them, and she told me about it once. They didn't send them home early or anything like that, but they did tell them at high school. I wonder what they did in elementary schools. And Bush, I was watching the thing where Bush was told, and he was at a school. He was visiting an elementary school. And it was just a tough time. I remember I got a flag. We had just moved in the summer to our big house. And that was a lot of difficulty in my marriage, was when we were building the house, and I didn't really want to build the big house, but we had finally moved into it. It still wasn't done, but we had moved into our big house, and it had 3 garages, and I got a flag and hung it over the middle garage door. I think I got more than one flag, actually. But I got, instead of getting a flagpole, I just hung the flag over the middle garage door. So, and I went and donated blood. I remember they were calling for people to go donate blood. And that was like the first time. I think after that, I would usually donate all the time whenever they had a blood drive. And then I started giving plasma. And I remember the nurse said, I said something like, "You have 5 kids?" She said I had 5 kids. She was like, "You have 5 kids and you're saying?" And I was like, "No." Nope. No, I'm not. Yeah, I remember that. And I would write a Christmas letter every year, and I wrote about it in the and I remember the Islamophobia that happened at that time too. And I mean, I think I really even kind of had it, you know? And I think about like it was, you know, by the time, by 2018, when an Islamic man booked my Airbnb, I was kind of over it. But I remember thinking at that time, I was like, gosh, if this was like right after 9/11, would I let this man stay at my Airbnb? And it did end up being, but you know, it had really nothing to do with his. It really had nothing to do with that, but it ended up being an annoyance, anyways. But um, if I was a little more, maybe I wouldn't have fell for him if I was a little more Islamophobic. But anyways, but it's still, being Islamophobic is not good, because people were being angry with Islamic people that had nothing to do with that, you know, and that was sad too. It was just lots of sad things going on. I think that is the time too when I stopped watching uh, news as much. And we went back to karate, I remember, and that Wednesday, I don't know if it was once a week, if it was twice a week or once a week, or if it was the following week. But I remember the karate instructor going, "Oh, this is enough of this," and he changed the channel from the news when it was like a week later or whatever. And it's like hard, you know, when you have little kids. And I think now, I think more about how that affected them. How did that affect them? And if it, you know, scared them. And I think a lot of um, looking back, that, but even other things, I feel like a lot of my fear affected my children. And I wish I had more faith even back then. I thought I had faith, and in a way, like, I don't know, I was more of a Pollyanna-ish. Um, it was more, I feel like my faith is more real now because of things I went through. Um, it's sort of like the rubber has hit the road, and I really had to, and being away from God made me realize more how that he's real, that I feel like he's real, like he was there. I feel like he was with me, and he's so merciful. He was patient with me when I was a prodigal, when I ran away from him, you know? And I feel like anyways, my faith is stronger now. And that I had a lot of fear back then, even though I acted. I acted better then. I was fake, you know. I used to be saying about, you know, because everybody thinks my ex still is like a nice guy, because he can be really a nice guy sometimes, you know, but behind closed doors and sneakiness and manipulation and saying things to my kids to get them to be mad at me or stay mad at me. Hey, Timmy Ray. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Reds. Yes, we're talking about 9/11. So, yeah, I feel like some of my fears. I wish I can't do anything about it now, but I feel like as a mom, me having the fear I had was not good for my children, was not a good example for my kids. And yeah. And I feel like my middle children had a harder time adjusting to, because they didn't go to any kind of school. They didn't even go to preschool. My older ones went to preschool, and then my oldest went to public kindergarten and first grade, and I started homeschooling when my oldest was in second grade. I homeschooled from, let's see, 1992 until 2003. Well, is that right? No, that would be 11 years. I guess it was 11 years then. 1992. Yeah. Started homeschooling when my oldest was about 8, I think. Let's see. She was in second grade. No, she was in 5. Wait a second. 1994. I think it was 1994. Because when she was 5, she was in kindergarten. She went to public school. So I'm trying to figure out this. I knew it was 9. I thought it was 9 years. So it must have been 1994 to 2003. And so my middle two didn't go to any preschool or anything, but they went in the nursery at church. Hey, Pam. Hello. Oh, you're welcome. Yay. You're the first book winner. I'm going to keep giving away books. So I have another winner, Linda, and I'm sending this book to her tomorrow. And I'm also going to send Lindy her gift, and I'm going to send my grandbabies their little gifts from the UK, because it's like soon. It's almost like it's a week from Thursday that my daughter's due, so it's like getting down to the wire. I'm gonna text her, see how she's feeling, how's it going. Yeah. And this is an answer to prayer, so thank you for praying, everybody. My younger son made it to Oregon, so I'm glad. There were some things. I mean, his car is running good, but I just kind of was thinking to myself, I'm gonna feel better. He was gonna camp on the way, but I guess he didn't, because he got there early this morning, I think. So I'm good. How are you doing, Timmy Ray? So yeah. So everybody, like from my parents' generation, they all remember like where they were, like when Kennedy was shot and stuff like that, and now people remember where they were when 9/11 happened, and we were at homeschool karate. And I prayed with my friend Carrie. I always will remember that. I mean, I don't really keep in touch with her. We kind of keep in touch. This is what I like about Facebook, is like we don't like we kind of like know what's going on with one another because of Facebook. We're friends on Facebook. So, but yeah, she's in Georgia. So, yeah. So, and I got so I was watching these videos, you guys, and I'm just like, it's, um, I think what I realized is what I am is an empath. And I just got so deep into it and everything that like everything was gone. And I was like I was watching the YouTube. You guys, I've canceled everything. I mean, I still have Disney because it's not over. The month is not over yet. So my son was like, I'm like, you're getting me into all of these Star Wars series, and now my Disney's gonna be off, and then I'm gonna be, oh no, what happened? But so I really only have YouTube. I canceled Netflix. I canceled Hulu. I canceled Peacock. I wasn't even watching Peacock anymore. And so I was watching these on YouTube, and I was getting so engrossed, and I was just like, and I was doing my thumbnail, you know, and I started to say, and I was like, oh, I have to exercise. I like came out of my trance. I was into watching these videos, and I don't usually do that on September 11th. So Roku. Yeah, but you have to have a Roku, and I don't have one. I used to have what's it called? The Amazon one. I used to have it's not a Roku. I forget what it's called. I put it back in the box. I was going to keep it. And when I moved, I accidentally threw it away, and I just had the clicker. What's that thing called? I forgot. Fire Stick. I used to have a Fire Stick, but I accidentally threw it away when I moved. And I just had the clicker. I was like, this is not going to do me any good. So I was getting totally into it. And then I was like, it was like I came out of a trance, and I was like, oh, this is just making me sad, because I was watching, the last thing I was watching was the people that were helping with the cleanup and the stuff like that, and that they are getting sick and having all these issues. And I started watching a 60 minutes on that, but I stopped it. And then I was like, oh no, I just need to go for a walk. I haven't exercised. And I was like, I was so into it, you guys, that I forgot that I went swimming at noon. It was like the whole day was like, it was just like, I was feeling these people's pain, and I was like, and because like the people reading the names, I was watching that for a while. And then they would have, and they really organized it well, because they would have two people reading the names, and one person would say it, and then the other person would say it. And then at the end, they would say their family member's name, and they would say, we really miss you. And some of them were young people who were not alive when their family member died. And they're like, I feel like I know you. One young man said, my dad says, I remind him of his brother who died in the towers. And he's like, I'm hear what a great person you are. So that's a compliment. And it was just really, really touching and sweet. And some of them had like pictures of their loved ones. And it was just, yeah, you were getting ready for work. Yeah, it was so scary and sad. Yeah, that's what I was saying. And my husband was out. He was off and gone. They called it TDY. He's not military, but he worked at a military base. He was civilian, so they would use the military talk. He was TDY, and he was in Chicago, and they had to drive back. So it was so scary. Like, and he often wouldn't call me when he was out of town. It was so annoying. Um, at first when he would go out of town, he would call me and be considerate. He used to be more considerate. He got less and less considerate, but he would hardly call me when he was out of town anymore. But I did talk to him this time. It was just so scary. So scary. So yeah. And I had 5 little ones, and so my oldest was in high school. My oldest son, I think, was like 6th grade. And then the next year I put him in middle school. Hey, Ivan, hello, how are you? Doesn't seem like it happened 22 years ago, and it's strange how the mind works. I can't remember locking doors last night, but I remember where I was that awful morning. Yeah. Yeah, we were in real time. We were on, the East Coast in Georgia, so it was New York time, East Coast time. So yeah. So I was watching things on YouTube, and I just got and I was just like, I don't really know. And I hadn't done my thumbnail yet. And I'm like, I'm not sure I want to do this topic. And you guys, I turned on like silly cat videos for a little. But then, sometimes I just can't win though. Sometimes I worry about these cats. I mean, they real like if you ever watched those videos, funniest home videos or whatever. These people like they got hurt when that happened, and it's the same with these cats. I'm like, oh no, poor kitty. Now I'm worried about these cats. Oh my goodness. But yeah, so I for a minute was like, I don't know, like I want to have the rest of my lives, my lunch lives will be more light, okay? We'll have fun on the lunch lives this week, okay? And not be such a heavy topic. Oh, I do want to show you something cool that my son left for me. He left me some stuff. He can only fit so much stuff in his car. Look at this thing. Okay, wait. Let me hide this. Isn't this cool? I don't know where he got this thing, but I also have a Nerf gun. I have a weight belt. I have some video games that I'm going to try sell on Facebook Marketplace. Oh, now it's not going. I got it like this, and then I couldn't get it back. I got some shelves. Oh, I got Mario Kart, Mario Party, what do I have? I have The Legend of Zelda. I have Lego Star Wars, Paper Mario. This was something I got out of the top of I took a bunch of stuff to Goodwill for him, but I was like, hey, video games, I'll sell those too. I have he has a nice dartboard. I don't know, I might save it for him. He couldn't fit his big cooler. He has a cooler that's bigger than mine. Now I have two coolers I don't really need, so I'll probably sell one. But this was an interesting thing I thought I'd show you. It's metal. Wait. See, I get it like that, and then it's stuck. So I have some Wii games too. Wii Resort. Wii Play. Wait. What Wii games do I have? Super Smash Brothers. I have Mario Kart for Wii. No. I don't like eBay. eBay is too many fees. I did try eBay. No, I sold all my stuff. I didn't have any fees. I sold all my stuff. I made $4,000, all the contents of my little house. So 2001 was the year we moved into the big house my ex started building in 1999. He started building it in 1999, and it was done enough for us to move in 2001. And so it turned out interesting when I went to sell my house, and I figured out, because, people ask all these questions about, when did you buy the house? And I said, we bought the little house in 1990. And we had just moved into the big house when 9/11 happened. So, and Lydia was 6 months old, because I thought we weren't going to have a fifth child. And but we did. And I thought maybe now he'll finish the house faster, because I was pregnant. But we didn't move into the house until she was 6 months old. So, and when Lydia came to help me move into, you wish you were drinking. You weren't old enough to drink then, were you, Timmy Ray? Come on. Oh, you mean you were 21? I'm sorry. My bad. I'm teasing. Were you illegally drinking, Timmy Ray? Because you're about my oldest age, and she was in high school then. So yeah, I'm on the TV behind me. Yep, I am. I was doing that now and then, but the last couple of times I've been so late and been rushed, so I didn't put myself on the TV. But yeah, I'm on the TV. I'm on the TV behind me. Oh, Dr. Pepper. Drink a Dr. Pepper. You were drinking Dr. Pepper 9/11. You were probably in school, no doubt. Probably. No? How old are you, Timmy Ray? If you don't mind me asking. So, yeah, my oldest. Wait. She was 14. 14. Yeah, I probably just put her in school because I just put her in school in okay. So you were 16. So you should have been in school. So yeah, my other kids weren't in school because I was homeschooling them then. So yeah, they were at karate class though. So yeah, but so there was a good oh, you quit school? Your dad signed you out at 16? You can quit school like when you're doing well, at least in Georgia. I think you send in attendance when you homeschool. You send in how many days you did school. Yeah, I got this dress at Ross when I got some clothes recently at Ross because I was replenishing my wardrobe. I still didn't have much of a wardrobe from when I downsized and left Georgia. So as I was saying, the stuff I sold on Facebook Marketplace, I made $4,000. I sold furniture. I sold some little stuff and big stuff. I sold kitchen appliances. I sold furniture. I sold little knickknacks. I had all these salt and pepper. I had collections of everything. I had all these different I had lots of owls. I started things I started collecting again. So, I got this owl, but, and a little owl from the redwood forest. But I had owl salt and pepper shakers too. I had all these different salt and pepper shakers. I had this cool clock that was with rocks in it. It was pretty cool. I had this big bell I used to ring for dinner sometimes. My kids hated it, so I didn't really use it very much. But I replaced it with a little bell. I sold my big brass bell and I got a little bell to put in my RV. So yeah, I made $4,000 on all the stuff I sold. But most of my clothes I just gave to the Goodwill. You got in so much trouble with the law. That doesn't make any sense at all to me, Ray. My brother Tim, my eldest brother Tim, the one I told you said that they have woken the sleeping giant. like was said in World War II. That's what he said about 9/11. So my brother Tim, he had to go finish school up in Northern California because he was almost expelled for drugs. He got 5 years probation. Oh, so you were being badly influenced at school? Is it what Pam's saying? And you got 5 years probation. I had thought my brother Tim was expelled, but he wasn't expelled. I don't think. My mom said that was debatable or something. They just took him out and put him in school up in Northern California where my uncle was. And my grandparents were still living then, and yeah. It didn't quite straighten him out though. There were times when he was off the drugs for a little bit, but he would relapse. So, but we're at an hour. I want to read you this. There's this man, he wrote this book, this man that went to our church, and his name is Bruce Goddard. And I was reading a Timothy Keller book, and see, like, Timothy Keller, I just recently found out about him from my church because we did a study on walking with God through pain and suffering. And Timothy Keller was a Presbyterian minister in New York City. And I think he started there in 1989. So, but he quotes Bruce Goddard, and Bruce Goddard is from the South, and he lives in Georgia, and he went to my church, the big church, Baptist church I went to in Warner Robins. And he wrote this book because his family was undertakers. So dealt with a lot of death and stuff. And he wrote this book, and I mentioned Timothy Keller because Timothy Keller quoted him. I'm like, oh, wow, he's quoting Bruce Goddard. And one of the things one of the books that was hard to get rid of that I got rid of, though, was A View from a Hearse. It's a good book. It's by Bruce Goddard. And he would preach sometimes at our church, and at the end of his sermon, I was like, oh, he's quoting scripture. He knew it by heart, and he would say all of Revelation 21. That's good. That's good, Timmy Ray. Yeah, I feel that another thing that's changed with me since I was away from God for 2 years, the way my beliefs changed, is I really feel like, for one thing I said at the beginning of this, that my faith is stronger because I just really feel like God is there. And I also feel like, if this makes sense to you, that my faith is more for now, like living, and I did say it to my father-in-law once, living right is just good for you now. It makes you happier now. Living God's way just is better. You know, I don't feel like I'm missing anything. I don't feel like I'm missing anything by not being bad, you know? And I used to get into these stupid debates. You know, I wouldn't do it now, but there's a verse in 2 Timothy that says not to avoid useless wranglings with people, or, you know, useless controversies, and, you know, it says it in 2 Timothy. But I used to get into these things with my father-in-law, my ex's dad. And he said, and I said the stupid thing that I would never say to anybody again. I'm not like, I'm not trying to evangelize anybody anymore. And since I'm probably going to buy one of these books and give one of these books away, she has a shorter version. Since I'm reading this one, it's really good, you guys. And so I did the live on it before finishing the book, but I found that she quoted my other guy, because I was talking about William Barclay, the theologian who's a universalist, and she quotes him. So I'm probably going to get another one of these and give one of these away, because she has a shorter version too. That's, so you don't have to go through. She researched and studied, and I'm really loving this book. So anyway, so I'm not needing to evangelize anymore. I feel we'll all eventually be reconciled to God. Every knee shall bow, every tongue shall confess. But anyways, I was at that time in my life when I was trying to save everybody from hell. Not my responsibility, right? So I have to convince my father-in-law, right? And I'm like, if I'm wrong, I have nothing to lose. But if you're wrong, you could go. Yeah. So he says this though, but so my father-in-law says, well, you could be sorry you missed out on all of this if you're wrong. What if you're missing out? Like you're missing out on being bad. I don't know what he was talking about. Sleeping with someone else besides my husband. But something like that. So I could be missing out. And I said to him, because I thought about it for a minute, and I said to him, I was like, no, I don't think I'm missing anything, because I still think this is the best way to live, even if there's no, I don't think there's a hell now. Even if there were no heaven or no hell, I feel like it's the best way to live. Still, it's still the most happiest way to live. I was thinking today about people, might be people in my family, I don't say, but people who are angry. And, the Bible says to forgive, and a lot of people will say that is for you. And it is. Like, I'm miserable if I'm mad at, you ever think about that? Like when you're really been pissed off at someone, it's miserable. And I think of some people in my family who are angry and they're not happy. They're not happy. And, God says to forgive. And, I'm thinking of a Disney song. Let it go, let it go. And yeah. And prayer works. Hey, prayed for my bully. Now he's engaged. Yay. Concerned about I did email her, but yeah, but I hope it works out. I hope it's good. But all right, Timmy Ray, thanks for popping in. Super Centiles, I don't know what that is. Watching Super Sentais. Okay. I can't say that. I don't know. But I'm going to read this and then I'm going to pray and let y'all go. So turns out the live I did that I stumbled through, I was really appreciated Paul's Blind Soup for the Soul saying that it was good, even though I struggled with the topic when I talked about the book. I really appreciated that because I did struggle through that. My son was here and I was having trouble with, I just struggled through it. And I was just like, maybe I should have waited until I read the whole book. But anyways. Oh, okay. Thanks for dropping that link to me, Ray. You can drop the link to your channel if you want. But these are the verses I really like, especially when I can see why Bruce Goddard, who wrote the book View from a Hearst. So look it up if you're interested. Hey, maybe I'll buy another copy of that and give that book. I'm going to start giving books away. Like twice a month, I'll give a book away. So like every other week, I'll give a book away. So it should be a lot. There's a free library. You know, one of those free libraries where people put a book in and you can take a book out. I have one of those around the corner from me. So it might be some of those I get from there. But I did actually buy this one. I was like, I want to give one of these away. So Linda won that. And I liked the little book I got that I gave Pam too. I really like that one. I like books, so all my stuff is going to fall on the floor. Wait. Let me read this to you. I don't know how far I'll read. I probably won't do the whole chapter, but then I started reading Revelation today. I'm in chapter 1 though. I'm just in chapter 1. Then I saw the new heaven and the new earth, for the old heaven and the old earth had disappeared, and the sea was also gone. And I saw the holy city, the new Jerusalem, coming down from God out of heaven like a bride beautifully dressed for her husband. I heard a loud shout from the throne saying, "Look, God's home is now among his people. He will live with them, and they will be his people. God himself will be with them. He will wipe every tear from their eyes, and there will be no more death or sorrow or crying or pain. All these things are gone forever." And the one sitting on the throne said, "Look, I am making everything new." And then he said to me, "Write this down, for what I tell you is trustworthy and true." And he also said, "It is finished. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end." This is Jesus. "To all who are thirsty, I will give freely from the springs of the water of life. All who are victorious will inherit all the blessings, and I will be their God, and they will be my children." And I'm going to stop right there. Next is talking about the controversial lake of fire. But yeah, I'm going to stop there. But those are, and it describes all the wall was made of jasper stone, and the city was pure gold, as clear as glass. The wall of the city was built on foundation stones inlaid with 12 precious stones. Each gate of the city was made with a single pearl. That's cool. Okay. This is the New Living Translation. So, see what I think about the link? Is it a scary movie? What kind of movie is it? I'll look at the link when I'm done with my live. I'm almost done. I'm going to pray. I'm going to pray for you now, Tamire. Dear Lord, thank you for all these YouTube friends and followers, Lord. I pray that you would bless them and be with them. Please continue to comfort Timmy Ray at the loss of his dad. Please bless Pam, and please bless Ronald. Please bless Ivan and Teddy. Lord, thank you that my son made it safely to Oregon, Lord. I pray you bless all my children and keep them safe and watch over them, Lord. I pray that they would know that you are real and that you love them, Lord, and that I love them. Thank you for our grandchildren. Thank you for my grandbaby on the way, Lord. I pray that you give my daughter a safe delivery and a healthy baby, Lord. Thank you so much for our grandchildren and our children, Lord. I pray that you'd bless them. I pray that they would forgive me for my failures as a mom, for having so much fear, that I caused fear in them, Lord. Please forgive me for that, Lord, and I pray that they would forgive me for that. And I pray you continue to heal Lori, Lord, and be with her and give her doctor's wisdom, Lord. I pray that you would be with Rose in her situation and give her wisdom and guidance. And I pray that you would be with all of the survivors from 9/11, Lord, that you would comfort them, Lord, that you would help the ones that are having health problems from working at Ground Zero, Lord, that you would help them and heal them, Lord, that you would, that the government would do more. Like the thing that I watched said that their health benefits only last for 5 more years, Lord. I pray that they would extend that for them, Lord, that you would heal them of their breathing problems and gastrointestinal problems that they're having from this dust from Ground Zero, Lord. And we thank you that we know that you still love us and you are still on the throne. And even though these bad things happen, that you're still here with us and comforting us. And those who have gone on are with you and they're happy and are watching over their loved ones, Lord. And we thank you for that hope that we have, that we don't grieve without hope, that we know where our loved ones are. They're with you. And we thank you for that, Lord. Hi, Elsa. I was just finishing up. Thank you so much for being here. Dear Lord, please bless Elsa and thank you for her being here. And I pray all these things in Jesus' name. Oh, and dear Lord, please be with Chef Santa and please heal him and strengthen him as he goes through his cancer treatment. And Kayla, the girl that I found on, the lady that I found on IG, Lord, with her young son, and she has cancer, Lord. I pray that you would heal her and give her doctor's wisdom and strengthen her as she goes through treatment, Lord. And let the treatment be effective for the cancer, Lord. Let Chef Santa's tumor shrink enough so that they can do surgery, Lord. And I pray these things in Jesus' name. Amen. Okay. Well, that's about it. I'll be back this week. I haven't set up all my lives, but I'm going to go Tuesday through Friday at 1 p.m. Mountain Time. That is 12 p.m. Pacific Time. That is 2 p.m. Central Time and 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Hey, Ovangal. Hi. Welcome in. You can catch the replay if you'd like. It was a somber subject, but I prayed about it. I wanted to cop out. I'm like, I don't want to do this, God. But when I prayed about it, I was like, no, I think I still need to do it. So I decided to still do it. So thank you all for being here. I really appreciate it. I hope you'll be back tomorrow if you're around for lunch. And don't say that no one cares for you, because I do and God does too. Don't forget to pray for Red, because Red is praying for you. Love you all. Thank you so much for being here. Good night.